Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I want to point out a confusing feature of Instagram that you might run into if you use it long enough. And this one has the potential to be scary, so I thought I would put this video out there just in case anybody is running into it. So it's probably best to talk about this in the context of my experience with it. So I used to live in Seattle, Washington, and I worked at a tutoring center for some time while I was there. This was 7 years ago, and I had a lot of colleagues who were a lot younger than me at the time. And I have since discovered that one of the girls that I worked with there, she has now developed an art career, and I decided to contact her through Instagram to see what she's up to. Now, here's the problem. I hadn't used Instagram for a number of years now, and when I tried to log on, I forgot my password. And their password reset is not very friendly to use at all. They say they were going to send you a one-time password. By the time it comes, it has already expired, and all the other frustrations of that. Passwords have become a very big soreness of mine. I have so many websites that I can scarcely use anymore because of password snafus. Even healthcare.gov. Every time I have to log in, I really dread it because the whole password situation has become intractable. They force you to change it so much that you end up using something completely unrememberable, and it's almost like they're asking for to be hacked because people end up having to write them down somewhere probably. I sometimes almost feel it's an ulterior scam. They want to deny you healthcare. They can't, and so they make it difficult to use and make you give up on it. Right? You gotta wonder how many people don't have healthcare because they gave up on passwords, on technical snafus, on got to remember some people have various disabilities that could make these things, especially if you're needing healthcare in the first place. Who's going to want to spend 2 hours on the phone trying to get to somebody when they already need healthcare because they have anxiety issues or whatever, right? You got to wonder how many people are quote unquote denied healthcare due to these barriers, right? But back to Instagram, I had so much frustration signing on that I eventually decided to create a new account altogether. Now, when I tried to do that, Instagram kept wanting to default to a picture that I had saved on there many years ago, and it kept wanting to say Peter Shit Show with the middle finger up. I didn't want that to be the first thing the girl saw, obviously, and I kept wanting to change that, and I couldn't, so I had to create a third account. Finally, I get through with a reasonable picture, and I go on to message her, and I introduce myself, and I hit the like button on a couple of her pictures. And next thing I know, or so it appeared, she blocked me. And I was really disheartened. It had been 7 years since I had seen her, and I was curious on what she was thinking about me. It was okay if it didn't click or anything, but the only thing I saw was that she had blocked me. Or so I thought. I'll get to that in a second. And I went into a kind of a mini depression. You guys saw. I asked all of my friends to set me up on dates after that, and I got 5 takers altogether. Well, 4 because one of them did it twice. And so it wasn't the end of the world. And finally, I decided to circle back on Instagram. I wanted to post pictures from all of the dates. Hopefully, that she or her friends would see it and she'll regret her decision. That was my thought process. But I realized that my Instagram account had been locked up altogether, and the only person I had contacted her on that new account was her. And I thought, what in the world did she say to Instagram to cause my account to be locked up? She must have really badly slandered my name, right? That's what I was thinking. And the only messages I sent her, well, I liked 2 of her photos, And I introduced myself. Hey, remember me from the Bellevue Learning Center? And what's been up these days? I've been looking at your art. Here's a few pictures of my art. That's all I sent to her. There was nothing reportable in there. It wasn't like, would you like to go out on a date? Right? Even that might have been reportable, maybe not. It certainly wasn't like I want to do whatever to your body or whatever, right? But I was curious what she had reported to me. So I created yet another account to kind of snoop around to see if she had posted anything around that time. Hey, an old friend of mine from Bellevue Learning Center was harassing me last night. I was looking for that. I didn't see any of that. In fact, she was all excited during that time, posting a lot of art. And so I decided to Google, does Instagram cause you to like block people on their own? Because I didn't think she had blocked me. Judging from the post, the other thing that happened was I found her. She doesn't have Facebook, but her mother does, and I added her mother on Facebook, and without a hitch, and her mother didn't say anything to indicate a problem. So I thought that was weird. I didn't believe she had blocked me. So I Googled on Facebook or on Google, does Instagram ever block people on their own? And that's when I discovered Instagram will sometimes block a message because they find it suspicious. Right? After all, I guarantee people have get scams on Instagram. It's good. You got an elderly person who gets a Nigerian prince who has $2 million to wire to them, and Instagram blocks it before they ever see it. That's beautiful. The problem is Instagram ought to make it clear to the sender that it's Instagram that's blocking them, not the person they're sending a message to, right? It avoids all sorts of confusion and potential drama that could happen, right? So had I known that it was Instagram, I would have sorted it out 3 weeks ago with the girl. Now, granted, nothing bad happened during these 3 weeks, but you can imagine any number of things, right? You could miss out on an opportunity. I mean, granted, this was just a girl that I wanted to reconnect with. What if this were like a job opportunity or an art show, right? Imagine that I were ready to sell a $2 million art piece and the buyer blocks me and I miss out on that sale, right? Or any number of things, right? Fortunately, during this time I met other people. What if I missed out on a chance to meet a girl? Or better yet, you remember what kind of company was that? There was a stockbroker who had made this kid feel like he had lost $2 million because of a poor UI design. He was doing some kind of margin trading, and he actually didn't lose anything, but they were showing him a theoretical $2 million loss, and he thought he really did owe the broker $2 million, and he jumped in front of a train, right? Granted, you got to be really weak to jump in front of a train over anybody blocking you, but it could happen, right? And certainly not the publicity that Instagram would like, right? But I like that Instagram checks in on this, right? After all, if my parents are elderly, somebody at some point, I'll have to talk to my parents at some point, but somebody at some point might send my parents, hey, I'm a prince from Egypt. I got $3 million to send you, right? Can you send me like 10,000 for taxes first, right? My parents are at the age where they could be receiving emails like that. Or, hey, your son is in trouble. He got a DUI while visiting a friend in Poland, right? You got to wire money for bail. Right? My parents are kind of at the age where that could happen. So if Instagram blocks a message from reaching people before that happens, great. But they ought to tell the sender, your message has been blocked because of Instagram, not because of the person that you're sending it to, right? Just to make clear, right? After all, what's wrong with that, right? The scammers will see that, but who cares, right? Their message is being blocked, right? All right, thought I would throw that out there. If your message, if you've been blocked up by somebody on Instagram for a weird reason, you might want to look into this. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.